Hello everyone, and welcome to this IEP meeting for Billy. The purpose of this is to go through our functional behavioral assessment as well as behavioral intervention plan and see what we can do to help Billy be a little bit more successful this school year. So I think I know everybody, but just to reintroduce myself, my name is Miss Kathleen Selden. I am the school counselor here at Los Toros Elementary School. We're also pleased to welcome Mr. and Mrs. Bully, Billy's parents, Mrs. Zhu, our general education teacher, Miss Cow, our special education teacher, and Mr. Fish, our school psychologist. So thank you guys all for being here. Before we get going, do we have any questions at this point? Okay, great. Please feel free to stop me if you do have any questions as we go. I don't want anyone to be confused or lost or not be understanding what we're talking about. So if you have any questions, please feel free to stop me as we're going. As we know, Billy is a 4th grade student here at Los Toros Elementary School. He's been with us since kindergarten. He has I would like to start by talking about his strengths. He has a number of strengths that he exhibits. He exhibits excellent fine and gross motor skills. We're not concerned about any of that. He has the social skills to make friends. He had a number of friends at the beginning of the year, so we know that he has the social skills necessary to make friends, and that he shows an interest in being social with his friends and his peers. And he also has an interest in a number of different extracurricular activities and participates in those activities, which we're really happy to have him participate in so many things. As we go through and try to define exactly what we're looking at with Billy, Mr. Fish and I have come up with this operational definition of the target behavior or the behavior we're looking to work on throughout the rest of the year. So Billy uses inappropriate social skills, for example, pushing, stealing, or breaking peers' property, not sharing or pranking, during social interactions with friends to the extent that he loses all of his friends. The behavior occurs approximately 10 times per semester, with each exchange lasting anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes. Some non-examples that we're not going to be too worried about here of behavior would be fidgeting or loudly complaining when waiting in line or waiting his turn for a toy, laughing with his friends but not laughing at their expense, and walking away in frustration or anger when he loses a game, but again without engaging in that physical aggression or violence towards his peers or their property. So the setting, these incidences have occurred in a number of different locations throughout the school, including the playground, the hallway, the classroom, the lunchroom, the swimming pool, and the soccer field. They occur at various times throughout the school day, between the hours of 9 and 3:30, as we know that's the school day, and then they're directed towards his peers and friends. And that's also one of our common antecedents, so because we have a lot of different behaviors that are occurring, the two common antecedents that are present throughout all of these behaviors are that they occur in the presence of his peers and friends, and that there has been no direct adult supervision at the time. So we've heard about it secondhand to the children. We haven't observed it ourselves at any point. So some consequences, which is we're looking at here, is just the payoff or what we think that Billy is gaining from these behaviors. And again, with a number of different incidences, there's a number of different things that he's gaining, but one thing that Mr. Fish and I noticed from our observations as an underlying factor of all of these is that he gains a sense of power and importance. So we're going to focus on that. We did note that a possible second function, if this functional behavioral assessment doesn't work, is pure attention seeking. And a possible third function would be demonstrating his autonomy. So for now, we're going to focus on the power and importance, but if we need to, those are some other possible options that we noted. So some environmental variables. We do know that all outside incidences have occurred on sunny days. Billy somehow has access to a bathroom key. We haven't really determined how that happened, but that's something that is minor, but we need to address. Some social factors of the environment that are important are that Billy's friends are initially willing to engage and play with him, but don't desire to be his friend after these behaviors occur. Also, he has a diverse group of friends, including a rabbit, cow, cat, horse, duck, pig, dog, frog, sheep, and chick. And all incidents occur in the presence of his friends. Billy enjoys having these friends, another social factor to note, and that he reports feeling blue after he's lost them all. Another environmental factor is that no onlookers or bystanders have ever intervened in the behaviors. They've observed, but no one's actually stepped in to stop the behaviors. And that all problematic instances have occurred in the absence, again, of teachers, supervisors, or other adults. So our hypothesis of his behavioral function then, if we put all this together, is that Billy uses inappropriate social skills, pushing, stealing, breaking peers' property, not sharing, or pranking, for example, during social interactions with friends to the extent that he loses all of his friends. This behavior occurs approximately 10 times per semester, with each exchange lasting anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes, and he does this in order to feel powerful or important. Again, at the risk of sounding redundant here, as we move into the behavioral intervention plan, our target behavior is that he uses these inappropriate social skills during social interactions with friends to the extent that he loses his friends. They occur about 10 times per semester from around 1 to 5 minutes. And again, to reiterate, some non-examples here include the fidgeting or complaining while waiting in line, laughing with his friends as opposed to at them, and walking away in anger or frustration after losing a game but without engaging in that aggression. We're labeling this as a skill deficit because it seems from our observations that Billy does not know how to achieve this feeling of power and importance without behaving in this manner. Just something that he never learned to do. Again, to reiterate his strengths here is he had quite a few friends to begin with, so we know he has those social skills to make friends, and he has an interest in making friends. Great fine and gross motor skills, and he's engaged in a number of extracurricular activities. Again, here, I'm not going to read this whole hypothesis again because we've gone through it a number of times now, but again, it's just that he engages in these inappropriate social skills during his interactions with friends to the extent that he loses his friends. It occurs at the same extent and duration that we've talked about earlier, and again, he does this, we feel, in order to feel powerful and important. As far as our summary of the previous interventions go, we have talked in previous meetings about our Tier 1 and Tier 2 interventions, correct? Does anyone have any questions or need a refresher on what we did there? Okay, great. So moving on then to the replacement behaviors, this is what we're looking for Billy to do instead of the target behavior. Billy will tell a teacher-approved joke whenever he's feeling the need to prank someone. If he starts to feel too competitive, Billy will volunteer to be a referee, ideally during sports games, so that he can gain the sense of importance and power in being the enforcer of the rules, not necessarily just by being the winner. When Billy loses, he'll give his competitor a compliment, which is kind of a backdoor way of feeling important by being gracious and nice to his friends. And Billy will tell a funny story, demonstrate a skill such as a magic trick or like a tongue twister or something, or some other appropriate behavior with his friends when he's waiting for his turn for something, as opposed to getting aggressive. So some things we're hoping we can change in the environment to stop the behavior from occurring at all. I'm going to talk to all of the 4th grade classes about bullying, including this concept of bystander intervention, so stepping in when you see something. Also, the harmful nature of pranks is going to be tied in with that, so hopefully when students do see the pranks going on, they won't laugh and give him that sense of importance that he's after. Again, to address the key issue, we'll make sure that keys and anything else that shouldn't be accessed by students won't be able to be accessed by students, and that won't be a possibility for pranking behavior in the future. I will also provide classroom guidance lessons on social skills, including making and keeping friends. We know Billy is great at making friends. It's keeping them that's becoming an issue. And I'm hoping that these classroom lessons will also be integrated by the classroom teachers into, kind of provide systemic environmental change in the classroom as opposed to just one lesson, learn it, forget it, things like that. And finally, Billy will be assigned a one-on-one aide to ensure constant adult supervision, because that was lacking before. So some of the instruction and curriculum, Billy will receive more intensive instruction on the social skills, appropriate social skills, including, again, how to make and keep friends. This will include role-playing, particularly in frustrating situations. So, for example, with me, he'll role-play losing a game and giving me a compliment. He will learn the importance of being patient and waiting his turn. And again, he'll learn those strategies of distracting himself, like telling a story, learning a tongue twister, or something like that. And he'll learn why pranks at the expense of others aren't appropriate, and how to make his friends laugh without engaging in pranking behavior. So getting a joke book and looking at the jokes and writing down the ones he thinks his classmates will find funny. Billy will be, as far as positive supports go, he'll meet individually with me once a week for about 30 minutes, and he will also engage in a social skills group once a week with students his own age. This will last 8 weeks, 30 minutes per session. He will, the purpose of this group will be for the peer group to provide feedback on how well they're doing practicing the new pro-social skills, as well as, you know, support on how they're doing for that, and feedback on how their original current behaviors are being really perceived by a group of their peers. Billy will be taught why physical violence against others is not appropriate or allowed. This ties in already with our PBIS stuff, so he should know this already, but we're going to just kind of reiterate it with him, and kind of try to teach him to recognize what he's feeling when he's feeling frustrated to the point where he wants to break something or hit someone, and learn that when he feels that way to ask an adult for a break, to go into the hallway and cool off. We're going to try to teach him some deep breathing exercises, some relaxation techniques, to help him through those times. And those teachers and supervisors will be encouraged to allow him these breaks when he asks. We'll also explore how he can feel powerful and important without engaging in these types of behaviors. We'll focus on his strengths in the counseling sessions, and you know, explore that need there. And he will also be given, again, a one-on-one aid to provide supervision and support throughout the day. So as far as his rewards, every time the classroom teacher, aide, or other adult observes Billy engaging in his replacement behaviors, he will be verbally complimented and made to be on his behavior and made to feel important. The aide will record when these compliments occur, so it can just be a simple tally. And if he receives at least 3 per day, he will be given a special task to do for his teacher that will make him feel important and valued. Some of the restrictive disciplinary measures, if Billy is observed using inappropriate social skills more than 10 times per semester, which was our baseline level, what we started at, so if it gets worse, essentially, he will be required to sit in the janitor's office alone, or perform some other task that he personally views as being demeaning or unimportant. So maybe Mr. and Mrs. Bully, you and I can talk about what that might be. You know your son the best, so maybe you can come up with some ideas for that. Our crisis plan, if threat of harm to himself or others is imminent, CPI protocol will be followed, and we'll follow up with SAS as well. So this intervention will be deemed a success if Billy is able to make back at least 10 friends, which is the number he started with at the beginning of the year, and maintain 80% or more of these friendships for at least the remainder of the school year. Instances of the target behavior, as well as the replacement behaviors and pro-social skills, will be monitored and recorded daily by the aide, and also if the classroom teacher notes something specific, she can note that down. And I will also provide observation twice weekly in a variety of different settings, classroom, playground, things like that. And I will enter the behavioral data into AIMSweb. Coordinating with our caregivers here, I will communicate with you guys through weekly behavioral reports and AIMSweb reports. And we can meet, and I will kind of train you on how to interpret all of that data and really know and understand what you're looking at there. At this point, does anyone have any questions? Yeah. Okay, so you're wondering who the aide will be. We are in the process of figuring that out now. There are a number of different aides in the building that are fantastic, and we're going to work really hard to find somebody that will be a good match for Billy. Yeah. You're wondering how long, if the observations will go. Yeah, so we'll go the whole year, because our requirement was that he maintain 80% of those friendships for the entire year, but we'll meet multiple times before then. We're going to actually plan on meeting in 3 weeks, and we'll progress monitor the whole time and figure out what we need to do to change it, to better it, to see how the progress is going. Does that work for everybody? Okay, great, thank you.